Hello guys, and today I'm going to be predicting each Yankees game for 2018, going through their whole regular season schedule because, believe it or not, opening day is like 8 days away, even though I might have just gotten out of school early because of snow. And so opening day is coming up in Toronto, and I think they're going to lose opening day. They always do. They haven't won an opening day game since 2011. So yeah, they're going to lose opening day, unfortunately. But they're going to come back good on that Friday night game in Toronto. And then on Saturday, they're also going to win in Toronto to get to 2-1. But then they're going to lose on Easter afternoon. So yeah, so they're going to split that first series. 2 games then. Wait, what? Alright, so what's with this 2-gameness for the home opening series? They're gonna win their home opener like they did last year against Tampa. And they're gonna also win that other game against them, which is after a day off, which is weird. And then they have a 4-game weekend series versus the O's. They're gonna get it off to the right start, winning both Thursday night and Friday night. They're gonna lose Saturday and Sunday though. A 3-game weekend series in Boston. They're gonna this is exciting, playing the Red Sox. They're gonna lose the first game. They're gonna win the middle game, but they're gonna end up losing the series. In Detroit, 3-game weekend series. They're gonna win the first one, then they're gonna lose the second one, then they're gonna lose the last, just like Boston series. 2 games home versus Miami. They're gonna lose the first one, and they're gonna win the second one. They traded some players during the off season, so that's gonna be exciting. 4-game weekend series versus the Toronto Blue Jays. They're gonna lose Thursday night, then they're gonna win Friday night and Saturday, and then they're gonna lose Sunday. That's a split, if you're not aware. Alright, so Minnesota. 4-game series versus Minnesota. That looks nice. They're gonna take the first game, lose the second game, win the third and the fourth. In Los Angeles, so they have a West Coast trip early on, and they're gonna lose the first game of the trip. No, they're gonna win the first because they're gonna come in hot. We're gonna stay hot, win the first, but then they're gonna drop the other 2. That ends April. In Houston for 4 games to continue that trip. That's tough, but also good, because aren't we supposed to be as good as the Astros now? Win the first. Nah, lose the first and be on a 3-game losing streak. Win the second and lose the third and win the fourth. Versus Cleveland for 3 back home. They're gonna lose the first 2, and actually they're gonna get swept. Then first time Boston comes to town. That's exciting. They are going to win the first game, lose the second game, and win the third game. Versus Oakland for 3, that's easy. They're going to win the first 2 and lose the third. In Washington for 2, the Nats are going to be good again for the last time this year. Win the first, lose the second. Weekend 3 games versus Kansas City. I think I'm going to finally have them losing a Friday night game here, but they're going to win the Saturday and Sunday games. At Texas for 3, that's pretty fun. I say win the first, lose the second, lose the third. Now win the third. 3-game weekend series versus Angels. Let's go. Win the first. Lose the second. Win the third. And then versus Houston for 3 games. Ooh, on a weeknight in May. Ooh. To end May. They're going to win the first game. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Win the first game, lose the second game, and win the third game. That ends May. To start June, we have 4 games in Baltimore, a weekend series. They're going to lose Thursday night, win Friday night, lose Saturday, and lose Sunday. They always have some struggles in Camden Yards, but it's still fun there. In Toronto for 2. What's with these 2-game series in 2018? Obviously, they're going to lose both of these. In New York, like at Mets for 3 on a weekend series, they're going to win Friday night, lose Saturday afternoon or something, and then they're going to win the probably Sunday night baseball. Versus Washington for 2. Win the first and also win the second. 4-game weekend series versus the Rays. Win Thursday night, win Friday night, lose Saturday, lose Sunday. Versus Seattle for 3. Sweep. We're going to sweep them. At Tampa Bay for 3. Lose the first 2, win the third. At Philly for 3. I say Yankees lose the first 2 and win the third. Should I go to one of those? I live in PA. Versus Boston for 3. A weekend one. Lose the Friday night, lose the Saturday, take the Sunday afternoon game. This starts July now. Obviously, we're going to beat the Braves in the first 2, but lose the third. In Toronto for 3, a weekend series. Lose Friday, win Saturday and Sunday. In Baltimore for 3, lose Monday. Well, it could be Tuesday, I don't know. Win the first, lose the second, and lose the third. A 3-game weekend series, a 4-game weekend series to finish the first half in Cleveland. Wow. The Yankees will win the first game, lose the second game. No, they'll lose the first game, lose the second game, win the third game, and win the 4th game. All-Star break then. And then they have 3 games versus the Mets, which they're going to sweep them at home. In Tampa for 3, they're going to win the first one, but lose the next 2. Versus Kansas City, 4-game weekend series. The Yankees are going to win 3 of these. Let's say they lose Sundays. Versus Baltimore, another 2-game series. What is up with this? Baltimore lose the first and win the second. August starts. 4-game weekend series at Boston. Let's say the Yankees win the first, lose the second, lose the third, but win the 4th. In Chicago for 3, Yankees are gonna get swept. Versus Texas for 4 on a weekend series. The Yankees are gonna lose Thursday night, but win Friday night, lose Saturday, and lose Sunday. So that's going to be a rough one. Versus, I don't know why, though. Versus Tampa Bay for 3. Let's say they are going to sweep this one. Versus Toronto for 3 on the weekend series. Toronto will win the first one, unfortunately. Yankees will win the second one. Toronto will win the third. In Miami for 2, I say a split. Yankees win the second one. Weekend series, 3 games in Baltimore. The Yankees take the first one, lose the second one, win the third. win 2-1. Versus Chicago for 3. Yankees are going to sweep the White Sox. Alright, that ends August pretty much because the Detroit Tigers play. And the Tigers will lose. The Yankees are going to win the first 2 games, which are still in August. And then when it starts September, the Tigers will win the first 2. Wake me up when September ends. Okay. Hopefully they have a good September because it's going to be important probably. In Oakland for 3 games to start a rare September West Coast swing. The Yankees schedule is interesting this year, so that's why it's cool. The Yankees will get swept here in Oakland and start September at 0-5. But then a weekend series in Seattle for 3 games. They're going to take down the first 2 but lose the third. And then that series, that trip that will not even end on the West Coast ends in Minnesota for 3. The Yankees will win the first, lose the first, but win the second and third. We're getting to the end. 3 games versus Toronto. The Yankees, a weekend series here. Yankees lose the first one, but win the last 2. Versus Boston for 3. It's important. See, everyone talks about how good this is going to be. How about talking about how they get to play them so much at the end of the year? Because versus Boston for 3, Yankees are going to lose the first but win the last 2. Versus Baltimore for 3, Yankees win all 3 because it's a weekend series. In Tampa for 4, Yankees win the first and the third, but it's a split. Weekend series in Boston to finish the season. Friday night, Yankees lose, and the AL East is 1 game apart. Saturday, the Yankees lose, and the AL East is tied. Sunday, last day of the season, we go to 30 innings to battle for the AL East crown. And the Yankees take down the Red Sox 14-13. You heard it first. Thanks for watching. I think the Yankees will go 95-67 in 2018. It's going to be such an exciting year of New York Yankees baseball. So I'll have more baseball content. Thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed me predicting all these games. Yeah, bye.